up, fight fans? Michael Hernandez here of the 10-second mark, and we are back once again for another episode. This time with one of my favorite gentlemen to always get to speak to, the humble, the always ready to go, Michael R1 Ramirez. Michael, how's it going today, brother?
Good yourself, man.
Hey, I cannot complain at all. Just got out of class, rushed over here to the studio to get everything going. And I know you got work at 1 p.m. You're a busy man yourself. Take us through that, man. Take us through the MMA career of Michael Ramirez. I know you're somebody that is very, very busy. You're always either in the gym, you're always working, you're always doing something to help further yourself. So what drives you, man? What is the thing that just keeps Michael R1 Ramirez keeps gassing that gas tank?
Well, I'm sure for a lot of people that are in the fight game, I think the people who are the real fighters at the end of the day, they want to get to the top, and that's the UFC. And I feel like you have to keep that foot on the pedal the whole time in order to reach that. You gotta make sacrifices, and you gotta do what you gotta do and make the best of the situation you're given. And I train every day. I don't miss a day. I have the benefit of my job's schedule set around my training schedule. So here and there, I have my teammates help me out. Like they get me from my job, take me straight to the gym, so I don't miss so much time because I take the bus to training every day. No excuses. I do what I got to do to get there, and I try to put as much work as I can possible, and just stay busy and reach the end goal, which is making it to the UFC.
I feel you are very much on your trajectory to becoming a professional, to becoming somebody that they're looking to in the stands to be like, hey, man, that's going to be the guy that we look to for our professional fights going forward. And just as a staple of professional organizations, because you carry yourself very professionally in this fight game and that you are dedicated to it. Speaking about that dedication, you not only go into the MMA sphere, you also got a little bit of grappling action in not too long ago, maybe a month or so out. How was it to get over there at Bakersfield, go over there in Bakersfield and get on the mats and win a championship, man? I'm pretty sure that's something you weren't very used to.
Definitely my first time ever competing in a jiu-jitsu tournament, and nonetheless a championship tournament. So it was pretty dope. I went out there with my coach, Mike, and he was in there doing what he does, being a good corner, and it was open weight, and I didn't know, so I pulled up and there's big dudes and stuff, heavy dudes, and at the end of the day, jiu-jitsu is all about technique and leverage. So I didn't mind it. It's all about there'll be a big guy and a small guy will get him, stuff like that. But anyways, it was pretty dope. I went over there, submitted everybody. The last guy that I went up against for the bout, I had the triangle, and I ended up winning because that was the only attempt that was made in that match, because it was a submission attempt tournament. So, but I ended up submitting my first three guys, and the last guy I held the triangle and ended up winning the bout. So it was pretty dope. I went over there. My coach took care of me over there. He brought me out there, and I was happy to get the job done for him.
That's pretty interesting that you were able to head all the way over there out to Bakersfield, because that's like a 3-hour drive from you guys over there out in Fresno, right?
Pretty long drive.
3-hour drive to go ahead and get that championship belt. I'm pretty sure it was all worth it for you. But speaking a little bit about your reasoning going into that grappling match, was there any reason that because I know you've been working very hard, you've been working very hard on your grappling as of late, just been in the gym tirelessly. Every single time I see you, it's like, man, I'm like, this guy's on the mats rolling with somebody. Has that been a big emphasis after the last fight with Roman Guillen? I know there was a little bit of a controversy with that decision. Was it just for you, like, hey, I want to get back in the gym and I want to be focusing on this skill of mine?
So, every fight we always try to learn stuff about ourselves, and with that fight, I truly believe that I needed to work on a lot of stuff. So thankfully for my team, we've been focusing on a lot of that grappling and stuff like that, and wrestling. And we have our coach Russell. He's a really talented, known wrestler, and he always comes and gives us his time and shows us different techniques and stuff. So definitely after that Roman fight, I wanted to say, all right, if I'm going against a wrestler, let's see how this goes. Let's see what happens when I stop the takedowns. Let's see what happens when their game plan doesn't work. Let's see if keep it standing. And if it goes to the ground, I'll get back up, and if not, I could just work my jiu-jitsu. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just working a lot all around my skill sets. You know what I'm saying? Like, sharpening each tool I have, my striking, my ground game, my defense, all the whole, the whole thing.
Describe some of the emotions that were going through your head, or just in general after the decision was read off, or possibly beforehand. Did you think that was a fight that you had won after the fight? I mean, obviously there was a loud reaction in there for your name. A lot of people were expecting for that Michael Ramirez to be read off, and then Roman Guillen's name was read off. Was there something that for you, like inside of your head, you were just like, this isn't happening, like, or was it just what was going through your head exactly?
I felt really bad. I felt like I let my team down, especially my coach. Like, I put all the work in. They believe in me and all that stuff. So during the fight, in my personal opinion, I felt like I was doing a lot of like, when I did take to the ground, even when I was on my back and I like get to sweep or get to the top, I see myself, telling myself to stay active, like keep throwing strikes, do a lot of action, not just don't hug them and stay there. You know what I'm saying? Like, put work in, standing up around the ground, like just keep run up the strikes, that like run the numbers up. And I thought I did pretty good doing that, especially on the stand up. Round one, I was like, all right, he took me down, whatever, he got that. And then round two, I felt like I was doing pretty good on my feet, got back up, and then we did that. And then round three, it was more of like I feel like that was the one that kind of, I thought I did pretty good and took it. But, all respect to Roman, he's a really good fighter, really good wrestler and stuff. And thanks to him, I believe I got so much better focusing on my wrestling and my defense, regardless of this decision, yeah, it sucks. Before the fight, I'm like, oh, damn, walking to the cage and you see that bout, you're fighting for the bout. A lot of emotions going through your head. You start thinking about it, like I can't blow this, you know what I'm saying? But after that decision, I'm like, damn. But, a lot of people nowadays, after that fight, everyone's calls me the champion, so I kind of became like a Charles Oliveira type of thing with that. So,
I was just about to ask, has that kind of alleviated some of that pressure you felt before? Because I know you were touching up on how you felt like you let your coaches down. You felt like felt a lot of emotions after the fight. Did that kind of, a lot of people coming up to you and giving you that reassurance, did that help with some of the wounds, or was it still hard? Because obviously a loss is a loss in your mind.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. The way I look at it, a loss is a loss, but I would turn those losses to lessons and learn from it. But definitely after that fight, man, I can't even tell you how many people came up to me, different coaches, different fans. They all came up to me saying I won and I'm the champ and I'm the people's champ and everything, like. So it made me feel a little better, It made me feel like at least at least I know that I was doing a good job, enough for people to see that they believe I won. So it wasn't like it was a one-sided loss, it was one of those things where, like, damn, I think I believe he won. He didn't look like he was losing. So that does me it did me good, He helped me a lot. Like, I felt really good. People come up to me telling me, "Oh, you won that fight," But yeah, it does help. It did help a lot. It made me feel a little better. Like, but can't leave to the judges no more, though. Got to do better, not leave to the judges. So for sure, it's a win regardless.
I always love that mentality coming from a lot of you fighters over there at Dethrone, especially after you guys. I feel you guys have always battled through these tough decision losses. I talked a little bit to Josh Simpson after his fight, after he fought Raul Valdivinos, and obviously that was a fight that he had thought he had won as well. But he said the same thing as you. And then look at his next fight, goes and he finishes his next opponent. Is that something that you're going to be searching for in this upcoming fight against Tyler Saelee? Looking for that finish. I know you tasted a little bit of it earlier in your amateur career, but getting back to that finishing prowess that Michael Ramirez once had.
Yeah. I always going and respecting everybody I'm facing. Like I always take them into consideration for who they are, how they fight. But ideally, I believe a lot of fighters go in there and try to get the finish. You know what I'm saying? And of course, I'm gonna go in there and do everything I can in my power with all the skills and all the training I put in to get the result I want. Whether it's a finish or if it's a dominant win, I just want to go in there and show people like, oh yeah, this guy's been working. He's a whole different person, and I truly believe that. I'm gonna go in there as a whole different fighter this time around.
So how is it to go into a fight where both sides of the arenas are just jumping and very, very active? Is it very confusing for you as a fighter because you're trying to obviously stay calm, or what are exactly the range of emotions when you hear everybody just going crazy in there?
Well, I know for sure he has a big fan base, and that's pretty dope that he has a lot of supporters. And walking into the fight every time, I always try to stay focused in my lane, not look at the crowd, even my own fans. I just go in there. A job has to be done. And I have my supporters. And I feel like a lot of my fans are people that I don't even know. And so it's really dope. I feel like I have people who go to the Fight Night fights, that they cheer for me, and I never met them, but they just see me fight all the time. Like they really came to the liking of me, like they really they like me a lot. It's pretty dope, when I'm in there, and then I'm looking back at the videos on YouTube and I'm hearing the crowd cheer, screaming, all this stuff, and I'm like, damn, it's a good feeling that people are supporting me that don't even know me. So, but yeah, I know he has some big fan base, and it's gonna be pretty dope. It's gonna be a lot of energy that night for sure, no doubt.
It will be a very, very jumpy night on November 18th at the Visalia Convention Center. I am super excited for this fight. It's one of the ones that I have circled for the night. It's just I feel like you guys are both going to put on a very, very good show. No matter who the winner is, it is going to be a really, really just stand up fight. I feel like you guys are going to put on a show, man. That's just my thoughts going behind everything. But to talk a little bit more about your relationship at Dethrone, I know you have been training out there for your MMA career, and you and your coach Mike Moreno, you have developed kind of a very close relationship with him. Even during the fights, I've noticed a lot of the times after you guys have kind of just like looked into each other's eyes or just after discussing things, and I've noticed that type of connection. Am I wrong in saying that? Do you guys have a very close relationship? Did you want to give us a little bit of a preview into that?
My coach is like, honestly, he makes me feel like family. Like me and him have a really, in my opinion, have a really good connection. Like he's the first person. Him and Rick were the first people I ran into when I walked into that gym a year ago in July. And when I started training, Coach Mike's the one that seen me start from scratch. He seen me where I began and where I'm at now, and he's the whole reasoning of how I am now. So me and him have definitely a strong connection because I've never stopped going. I go every day. So as a coach, I believe they love to see their students, show up, make their time worth it, put the work in, like. And when he's in my corner, I listen. I try to hear what he's saying. I try to do as he says, so his words aren't just going through one ear and out the other. But yeah, me and him, I believe, have a really dope bond. He's really hard on me, but that I really appreciate it though. Because if, in my opinion, if someone's not hard on you, they really don't care about if you're doing better, if you make mistakes. If I make a mistake in practice, I'm gonna hear it. Everyone's gonna hear it. Like I'm gonna be put on the spot, and I don't mind it. Sometimes it gets to me, but I fix it, and then I hear the good job there. There you go, Mikey. Like I hear it, but he'll let me know if I'm making a mistake, and I really appreciate it because he puts a lot of work into the team, and I'm just happy I could go there and do what I got to do and make him happy. You know what I'm saying? Go out there and fight. I try to make my whole team proud and show him, give him a win. You know, because at the end of the day, he's putting the time into it.
Michael, I know you're a very busy man. Hopped on the call right before work. Just the last couple of questions here for you. But when you first joined this MMA gym, when you first were getting into your journey of MMA, did you ever think that you would be here? I know with the aspirations of being at the UFC level, but there's trials and tribulations in every single test in life. Has there been any time where you're just like, man, this MMA career, man, like I don't know if everything's gonna work out, or has it always just been seeing everything through?
Honestly, I had that cross my mind after my second fight when I lost to what's his name? I forgot his name. It was my second fight. You know, I ended up losing, but a lot of things going through my head because after the first round, I felt really tired. You know, I was like, I train. You know, my conditioning is good. Like, what's going on? So I was really tripping. I was really tired. I didn't know how I was to keep going. Then round 2 came, and then round 3 came, and I ended up finishing the fight, losing or whatever, right? And then I was in the back just going through it, like really like thinking about what I'm doing. You know, I'm like, damn. And I'm like, you know what? It's cool. You know, I'm gonna get back to work. Like this, I think this comes with it. You know, I'm not gonna give up. You know, and then I showed the practice right the next first thing Monday. Showed right back up. You know, and then my coach started talking to me. He was like, hey man, you know, like good job. You know, like that was a good job. Like we you need we're gonna work. And he told me the guy that you fought, you know, the one he dropped, his dad came up to me and told me, hey, how long has this guy been training? You know, like, who is he? And he's been training for like a month or two, you know. And then he's like, really? He's like, my son's a silver gold boxer. He's never been dropped. He's never been anything like that, you know. So that kind of like, you know, it gave me a little boost in my emotions. I'm like, all right, you know, I lost to a silver gold boxer, you know, and because we didn't know anything about him going to the fight, you know, he was making his debut.
Was it
So that
Richard
loss right
Spinelli,
there,
right?
yeah,
Yeah,
Richard
yes,
Finale, yeah.
okay. I
So
was I was
yeah,
I was really trying to figure out. I was like, is it Salvador or is it Richard? But
no.
once
It
you
was
said
my second
debut,
fight ever. Yeah, he was really one of the people that helped me to grow as a person and a fighter. So yeah, if to answer your question, my second fight brought those emotions, but it also showed that I could overcome the bad, you know.
that you have showed your mental perseverance in folds. I feel like a lot of, if not all, the 559 Fights fans know this. If they know the story of Michael R1 Ramirez, they are very they would, I would say, they're very proud of where you have came and where you're continuing to go, my man. So I'm very excited, as we have stated previously, for your fight against Tyler Saelee on November 18th. Michael Ramirez, was there any last messages that you had for any of your fans? Any last messages for the people of the 10-second mark? Anything that you wanted to go ahead and share today, my man?
I'm very grateful for all the support. I hope everyone goes out there and enjoys their night and gets home safely. And I'm beyond grateful for everyone who always goes out there to support the fighters. You know, and I'm grateful for Fight Night Fights for always putting on events for these upcoming fighters. You know, showcasing their talent, and it's all love in my end. You know, I appreciate everyone's genuine feelings towards me and everything like that. You know, and to you too for putting fighters up there, you know, like giving them a taste of, you know, how it's going to be later on if they choose to keep doing this, make it to the pros, you know, like. So shout out to you too for, you know, for always putting the fighters on and letting people know who they are. So yeah.
And that's I do it for you guys. I'll say it till the end of my days. I'll say it until I'm at the very top of the ladder, if I ever get there, man. I will always continue to do this for the fighters, because you guys have shown me continuously why you guys matter. You guys have shown me continuously why this sport matters. So I will never ever stop fighting for you guys. I will never ever stop showcasing your guys' platform. So I'm very appreciative of you guys as fighters. So I thank you so much for your time today, Michael. Michael Hernandez of MLH Media and the 10-second mark. And we are going to be signing out over here with the one, the only Michael R1 Ramirez.
Oh yeah.